in the chapter of science of life, we will first discuss that what is biology. See, in your previous classes also you have read about what is biology and what is other forms or branches of science. So, biology, what is bio? The word bio means life and logy means science or study, you can say. Logistic study, okay. So, biology means the logistic study of the living organisms or the living world is termed as the biology. Now, this biology is having different branches and variations, okay. In this biology subject, the two main branches are zoology and botany. Zoology, the word zoo means animals, okay, so that means the study of the animals, and botany means the study of the plants. So these are the two main branches of the biology. Now, as this biology is mainly concerned with the living world, that means first of all we must read about what is life. We will go on living organisms later, but before going to the living organisms, we must study what is life. What is life then? Life is a time period from birth to death. Okay, so this is the time period, or this is the duration from birth to death is termed as the life. And those who are having a birth and having death, those organisms or those things are termed as the living organisms. Now, there are so many living organisms in our day-to-day life. We can encounter many organisms in our surroundings, in our daily life. How can we understand that it's a living organism and it is not? There are some particular characteristics, or you can say unique characteristics possessed by these organisms through which we can identify them, or we can classify them, we can separate them from the others by denoting them as the living organisms. See, in class 9 also you have read about what is the characteristics of life, what are the main characteristics held up by the living organisms, that we will define. So first of all, what is life? Life, it is a state of complex organic cellular substances capable of growth, reproduction and endowed with evolutionary potential. That means the life, the time period from birth to death, within that time period, that particular organisms are performing some complex organic cellular activities, or you can say cellular processes, biochemical processes, and as a result of those processes, they can grow, they can develop, their body parts can develop, they can grow, they can reproduce, okay, and most importantly, they can evolve, okay, they can evolve with the time. That process or that procedure is termed as the life. Now, the characteristics which are obtained by the living organisms, first of all, composition. Composition means what is it made up of? See, the living organisms, okay, or the living beings are primarily made up of what? Cell, right? We are termed as unicellular, multicellular, okay. So, the organisms which are having one cell are termed as unicellular. The organisms which are having more than one cells are termed as multicellular, okay. So, what happens? This cell is the building block of the life, okay. Now, these cells actually divide, reproduce, producing numerous cells, and an entire organism is set up. Now, within this cell, what is the thing which is present within the cell? It is the protoplasm. Now, the protoplasm is again of two parts, okay. What are they? That is, number 1, cytoplasm, number 2, nucleus. Okay, nucleus is a dense, rounded, spherical structure, and cytoplasm is a jelly-like substance. The cytoplasm is actually filled up with various cell organelles which helps in those metabolic processes in order to grow and develop that particular organism. So this protoplasm is the living material of our body that actually helps in different kinds of, you can say, metabolic processes so that the cell can grow, develop, reproduce, evolve through time, so that the living organisms can be created more and more. So, first of all, composition. The cells are made up of living materials, that is the cytoplasm and the protoplasm nucleus. Okay, as it is made up of living things, so it is capable of giving or dividing the numbers. Okay, next is that organization. That means one cell to many cells, that is multicellular. From the many cells to a definite number of cells, which forms a tissue. From the tissue, it actually forms a definite tissue system. From tissue system, it is coming to definite organ system, and the organism. Okay, and what happens? To make from one cell till the organism, there are a series of processes. From one cell to multicellular, to tissue system, specific organ system, and then the entire organism. Next is the definite form and size. It not only about that growth and increase in the numbers. Okay, it is about having a definite shape, definite size. Okay, next is that movement and locomotion. Everyone moves. Every living thing moves except plants. Okay, so plants cannot locomote, but they can also move their body parts. Okay, so movement and locomotion is a sign or characteristic of the living world or the living organisms. There are other things like metabolism, nutrition, respiration, excretion, that I'll discuss in detail. Reproduction means reproduces. Formation of the new cells, formation of the new species, okay, formation of the new organisms. Reproduction. Heredity is what you have read in class 10, that heredity is the unit of, you can say the unit of unit of inheritance, that is the gene which is carried from the parents to the offsprings. Okay, so that we can possess the characteristics of our parents. Okay, so all these are the characteristics of the living world. Okay, next is that adaptation, irritability. Adaptation means to adapt in a particular environment. Irritability means to respond to certain stimulus. So there are lots of characteristics which are possessed by the living organisms, which only can be performed by the living organisms. Okay, so by seeing these characteristics, we can distinguish them from the non-living world. Okay, apart from this, there are other characteristics that need to be discussed in brief. So this is an image of the metabolism cycle. You can see it. Metabolism, what is metabolism? Metabolism is the metabolic process by which the nutrients or larger molecules of the nutrients are being used up or being broken down by the body in order for the proper growth and development. Now you can see the metabolism is of two types, anabolism and catabolism. You have already read it in class 9. What is anabolism, what is catabolism? Anabolism is what? It is the constructive process, right? Catabolism is the what? It is the destructive process. Why it is constructive process? Because anabolism creates larger molecules. You see from here, smaller molecules, it is creating larger molecules which will be used up by the cellular organelles. That is why it is constructive process. And catabolism, it is the destructive process. As you can see, the larger molecules are being broken down in the catabolism process and being forming to smaller molecules and some waste products along with the formation of the heat energy. So this is the catabolism and anabolism. In both the cases, heat energy will be evolved. Okay, so this was about the catabolism and anabolism. So this was all about today for your videos. I hope you have understood it, and if you are having any problem, then please do let me know. Thank you.